I see people after things happen.
Mhm.
And so to me, it was really important to try and get ahead of some of the issues that are preventable, like falls.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
huge. People don't know what they
Mhm.
don't know. You get put in a situation, all of a sudden you get a call, mom's in the hospital, dad's in the hospital. What do? You go through this quick, stay in
Mhm.
a sense because they're
At Comfort Measures Consulting, we're here to help you navigate the complexity of healthcare. If you're caring for a loved one as a caregiver, you don't have resources, you don't know what questions to ask, you need to have options, right? Give Comfort Measures a call. Give us a chance. First consultation is free. Speak with me, Comfort Measures Consultant, 850-879-2182. You can also visit our website at www.comfortmeasuresconsulting.com. Talk to you soon. Welcome to another episode of the Let's Get Comfy podcast, where we empower listeners with the knowledge and information to age comfortably. Home of peace, joy, love, but most of all, comfort. I'm your host and sole proprietor of the Let's Get Comfy podcast, Norman Harris. And today we have an amazing guest that's going to provide wonderful expertise and insight for you all today. She's the owner of Functionality for Life, which offers in-home outpatient therapy services, home safety and modification consultation services, and dementia consultation services for caregivers. Her organization was established to improve the safety and quality of life of older adults. After working for over 20 years as an occupational therapist in various traditional settings and seeing the gaps in healthcare, this wonderful guest understands the importance of staying in one's own home to benefit their overall health. This realization motivated her to broaden her expertise into in-home therapy, home modification, and dementia care by specializing in those areas. She offers and tailors solutions to the daily challenges faced by clients and caregivers, right in the comfort of their own home. I present to you the wonderful Miss Jennifer Trevino. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for having me. I
Yes,
appreciate
ma'am.
it.
Yes, ma'am. So glad that you could join the show today.
Thank you.
Let's Get Comfy podcast. It was started to offer information and resources from individuals like yourself
Yes.
to assist family members. And one thing that I'm a part of, an organization I'm a part of, is Falls Free Florida.
Very good.
Yes, ma'am. So, and with focus on assisting individuals from falls
Yes.
in their home, aging in place.
Correct.
So, with Falls Free Florida, I learned a ton of information in just the impact of just one fall.
Correct. Absolutely.
So I do educations at assisted living facilities,
Yes.
skilled nursing facilities, and I've been preaching that message
Yeah.
of all it takes is one fall.
Yeah. And I think people don't realize the impact one fall can have.
Yes.
And so the sooner we can get in there and do things for people, the better quality of life people can have.
Yes, ma'am. So, if you'll just discuss your dedication and passion to healthcare and how it influenced you to launch your own company.
Absolutely. I've been, like you said, I've been doing occupational therapy for over 20 years.
Mhm.
And through that, working in multiple different settings, I see people after things happen.
Mhm.
And so to me, it was really important to try and get ahead of some of the issues that are preventable, like falls.
Yes.
Seeing people with broken hips, having to have hip replacements, knee replacements, all those types of things can be really traumatic. And so every little bit that we can get ahead of those types of things is where I was trying to make more impact.
Yes.
So that's how I kind of got into the home safety component.
Okay.
And then as far as the outpatient mobile, it was more or less transitioning from clients that have home health
Mhm.
and are unable to still get out to the clinic, but still need therapy.
Got it.
Or they need further training in the home because occupational therapy works on the occupations of everyday life. So the best place to work on those types of things is really in your home setting where
Right.
you're performing the majority of the occupations.
Yes. Totally agreeable. So when I put out your episode, right,
Okay.
I'm going to launch it with all of your wonderful accomplishments.
Thank
So
you.
I wanted you to review with our audience here
Oh, goodness.
these abbreviations. So
Okay.
OTR
Yes.
/L.
Yes.
Then there's CAPS.
Yes.
Then there's ECHM.
Correct.
Right. So instead of me explaining it and doing my research, I said,
Yes.
you know, I'm gonna have her explain on the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wonderful accomplishments, by the way.
Thank you. OTRL is the occupational therapist, registered and licensed.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
then the CAPS is additional training. That is the certification for aging in place.
Oh,
Okay. Specialist,
Yes, ma'am.
CAPS. And then the ECHM is the executive certification in home modifications. So
Okay.
a little bit of training in aging in place, a little bit of training in home modifications, and the occupational therapy base. So
Yes, ma'am.
that's where all that comes
That's
in.
why she's a specialist and good at what she does. Yeah. So we're going to transition here just to go into the life of Miss Jennifer
Sure.
Trevino. So if you just let the audience know where you're from.
I am originally from Chicago.
Chicago,
So I've been
Illinois.
down here in Florida for about 16 years now.
16 years. Which one do you like best, Chicago or Florida?
Right now, it depends what I'm looking for. So absolutely, weather-wise, Florida, 100%. Even when it's hot, even when it's brutal, I'll still take the heat over the snow any day.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What about food?
Other things, food. Absolutely. I was just gonna say, I totally miss Chicago.
Really?
Yes. So we go back as a family every year, and it's basically like a foodie tour.
What's oh, I was about to say, what are some like the most common places you guys make sure to hit when you go back to Chicago?
Chinatown. I mean, it winds up being a little bit of ethnic running. So we get our Mexican food, our Chinese food, pizza, deep dish pizza, because that's something you never get down here.
Wow.
Just a little bit of everything, running around, Italian subs, all the things. So.
Tampa Bay area, we have to do better, man.
I know.
We have to do better, especially in the Pasco County area. We need some good food options, like crates.
Yeah,
they come and bring some options, you know.
Like that.
But like everything up here in the Pasco County, we have to drive to, you know, Tampa, downtown Tampa areas to find good food. So that's a 40-minute drive.
Correct.
So you end up deciding to just cook at home.
Yes. That was one thing that I learned moving here. I was like, is it worth going out? Because the majority of places are like chains.
Yes, for sure.
Not that good.
So who had the strongest impact on just shaping your life, you would say?
Honestly, I would say my faith has gotten me through the majority of everything. So God, first and foremost. And then after that, family. For sure, my family has a huge impact on my life.
Okay.
So.
Oh, all right. Family. Siblings?
Actually, more of my aunts and grandparents.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It takes a village, they say, to raise.
It does. Yeah.
What kind of student were you? Just in school?
I was a nerd.
Really?
I loved school. I was excited to go to school, and I wanted to do well in school.
Really? So let me see. How was I in school? I did good in school because I knew I was going to have consequences if I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I would say, as far as a student, for me, if I would have like had a plan already after college, like where I could just go right into the workforce, like own like a family, I probably did that.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't like school.
No.
I just did it, and I made good grades.
Yeah.
Everything. I just did good because I had to.
Okay.
Yeah, my parents didn't play. Yeah. So first job in high school. Did you have that job in high school?
Yes, I worked many jobs in high school. My first job was actually at a Chinese food restaurant. So my friend got me the job, and I was able to just answer the phones, take orders, fill the orders, be a server, be a waitress, do all the things.
So that was the first place you stayed at too, when you said, as far as visiting, going to food restaurants back in Chicago.
Well,
so you like
food
Chinese,
is important.
Asian cuisine, Chinese cuisine?
Yes.
Yeah. So for me, my first job was, let's see, working a concession stand at our local recreation department.
Oh, nice.
I think I was the best. Like, I ran that concession stand.
You got it.
Like at 16, I did that.
That's
made the best hot dogs.
Nice.
Yes, I knew how to boil them, and I used to add a little salt in my water when I boil them, a little cayenne pepper.
Seasoning.
I already knew about that at 16.
See, there you go.
And they love my hot dogs too.
Yeah.
And I put extra toppings on it too.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what college did you attend?
I went to the University of Illinois at Chicago.
Okay. Illinois, Chicago. That's the Fighting Illini? No,
Fighting
University.
Illini is
that's
in
Illinois.
Urbana. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The one in Chicago is Flames.
Flames. Good. Okay. Did you know your future plans at this time? Like, did you already have a perspective, like from high school transitioning to college, what you wanted to
I
do?
kind of did. I wanted to be a doctor originally. And when I got into school and started doing more volunteering, I actually started veering more towards therapy. So I started looking at physical therapy. And the more I volunteered, the more I realized that I really liked occupational therapy.
Okay. Why?
Yeah.
Can you
We
share
were
why?
doing all the things. They
Oh,
had the
gotcha.
things. It wasn't just the exercise component. It was the taking the body, and how does it function in the space? So
Okay.
really, how are you getting in and out of a car? How are you
Right.
functioning in the home space? All those
Right. I
things.
can
And I
see how
thought it
that.
was really neat to put all those components together
Right.
to take people from the hospital environments
Mhm.
into the community and home and really just do well from there, be healthy in their own space.
Got it. Okay. Do
Yeah.
you have any funny story from whether it's college or high school? Just one to share
Yeah.
that just encompasses who Jennifer is.
I don't know. Like I said, I was kind of a nerd. So I don't have a ton of funny stories, but there was one time we did a group project.
Mhm.
And so we wanted to figure out, okay, how are we going to get everybody's attention? So at the time, ER was a really popular show.
Yeah.
You
Okay. I
remember
remember
that?
that. Yes. Yes, I
Okay.
did.
Yes.
I never
Shows my
watched it though.
age. So, yes.
I never watched, but I remember seeing like the commercials and all that. Yep.
Yeah. So we
Mhm.
kind of made a little spoof on it and we made it OTR because we were
Oh.
all occupational therapists. And we
Okay.
just kind of played up the characters and dramatized everything and over exaggerated all the things
Okay.
and just took like an OT spin on it.
Right.
But
Right.
everybody in the class and the teachers were just laughing because it was kind of silly.
Yeah. Do you have still stay close connected with any friends from college?
Yeah. We actually just had our 25th, again, my age, 25th anniversary this past weekend.
Really, that's really good. I
Yeah.
think that's one
Yeah.
thing I feel that like as far as college,
Mm.
because with me, I was in when I moved back home to Tallahassee, I went to Florida A&M University. I was graduated
Nice.
from there.
Yes.
But I was so focused on like just finances. So I was working
Mm.
and going to school.
Yep.
So
Yep.
like a lot of people that are FAMU alumni, like they're really diehard, like
Mm-hmm.
Rattlers, but not me
Mm.
because
That's a
my
shame.
folk I didn't enjoy really any like
Yeah.
on campus festivities
Uh,
like that. Yeah,
yeah.
no, I didn't. But yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good story.
That's a shame.
But no, but my that's because I played around too much early on. So by the time I
Mm.
got to FAMU, I needed to focus on, doing the right things at the
Yeah.
time. So, but yeah, thank you for sharing. I like to ask those
Yeah.
questions because it really sort of goes into like who you are, what built you, and it's goes and let the audience know like more of you as a person. So, and I
Absolutely.
want to further deep dive into that
Absolutely.
and just the version I call this part of the show the versions of Jennifer.
Okay.
So, if you just describe to the audience just you as a sibling, how would you say?
As a sibling, I am a middle child. So I have
Yeah.
an older brother and a younger brother. And I think probably because I was the only girl, I kind of ran the show a little bit more.
Really?
Yeah, I had good brothers. So,
Oh, okay, that's
yeah, they
good.
let me kind of boss them around.
That's
But
good though.
now things have changed. I'd say it's a lot more even these days, but we definitely support each other.
That's really good.
Yeah.
What's the age difference? Do you have that?
Yes, my older brother is 4 years older than me, and my younger brother is 5 years younger than me. So we're kind of spread out, but we're
Spread
still
out.
really close.
Still good. Still good. Do
Yeah.
they live in the area at all?
No, we all live in different states,
Okay.
California and Chicago.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. And as a daughter, how would you say you?
I would say I'm probably the closest to my parents, probably because I'm the girl.
Okay.
But I call them every day, check on them, do what I can. Being out of state, it's a little bit harder,
Mm.
but I check on them every day. I call it their daily well check.
Yes, you're right.
And check to see if there's anything I can do for them from afar. So sometimes I'm their computer tech support. Other times I'm just, checking to make sure everything's a-okay.
Good. Good. As a friend.
As a friend, I would say that I am always there. No
That's
judgments.
really.
Always there just to be there as a support.
You're
And
someone that they
likewise,
can call and
both
just
ways.
bounce.
Absolutely. Come
That's right.
over, show up anytime. Doesn't matter. I'm always here for them.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And just your overall impact on your community.
I would say just being a good neighbor, really, in the
Really?
community, stepping out wherever necessary, always being approachable to people, saying hi to people in the community, making sure people feel welcome.
Wow. So you're a part of your HOA?
I am.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not. Oh man, I gotta do better, huh? Really? When you meet? When your HOA meets? They meet too much for me.
It depends which meeting. Yeah, depends which meeting because there's several different boards.
Yeah, that's why I
Mhm.
said, man, no, I can't do all the meetings like that.
Yeah.
But they do a great job, and thank you if you're listening in my community. Please don't take this to heart, but I appreciate you. Norman, appreciate you. And mom,
Yes. As a mom, I have 3 children, 2
yes,
boys and 1 girl.
okay,
And I would
it's the
say I've
same.
dedicated, no, not
Okay,
quite the same age gaps as
okay,
myself, but similar, 3 years and almost 6 years
okay.
gap. So, I mean, just being present for them, they've
Yes.
always been my top priority.
Mm-hmm.
And so doing whatever they need.
That's really good.
Yeah,
So thank you for sharing that.
of course.
So what's your mission and purpose with functionality for life?
My mission as a company is really just to be the best
Mhm.
at serving people and helping them to really find solutions to their everyday problems. So, making sure that they're able to function optimally.
Right. And
And the purpose
mhm,
is definitely really trying to enhance their quality of life
there you go.
and their health issues.
Yes. And if you could review your services, what services?
So, I do occupational therapy,
Mm-hmm.
but not just traditional in the hospital or anything, in the home. And again, like I said earlier, it's a continuation. So, as far as if they're discharged from home health or they just need some therapy but are unable to get to the clinic, I come to them in the home.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also do the home safety, home modifications consultation. So, I see them again in the home,
Oh,
trying
that's
to make
good.
sure that their space functions for them optimally so that
Right.
they're able to stay safe and purposeful.
Mm-hmm.
And then I work with the caregivers as well to make sure that they're not feeling overwhelmed, that they're able to manage things at home.
That's a very great aspect you mentioned about
Yeah.
thinking of the caregiver. It's great that your organization
Yeah.
provides something like that because I think a lot of times, and I'm learning just working in the hospice realm, the
Yeah.
focus a lot of times is on the patient, which is understandable,
Hmm.
but the journey is actually walk with the caregivers.
Yeah.
Sometimes the caregivers can be a daughter, it can
Correct.
be a son, or
Spouse
just
or
someone
anyone.
close, a spouse,
Yeah.
and they've gone through this process 7 years, 8 years.
A long
That's a
time.
long time,
Yeah.
to have, and not use the term burden, but
Hmm.
just to have that additional piece that changes your life, and then you're watching someone you love, make
Change.
transformation
Yeah.
transitions as well. So
Yeah.
what are some of the right tools a person can have to make their day easier? You would say, just as far as home modification and home safety in their home.
Yeah. I think it's very personal. So really depends on the person and their situation. There is no right tool necessarily,
Mm,
but just things that are going to, if you're looking at them from a physical aspect, a cognitive aspect,
mhm,
sensory aspect, for somebody, it might be, that they may need a grab bar in their bathroom to help
mhm.
steady themselves. Um, from the cognitive component, I mean, something like an Alexa device
Got it.
can help you make your life a little bit easier. If
Hmm.
you're running around looking to jot something down, need a piece of paper and pen. By the time you get there, you may forget it. Versus just saying, Alexa, put
Alexa.
this to the reminder.
Yes. Yep.
Um, or sensory. I might be something simple like anything to calm you, a quiet space in your home, something soft or something weighted or whatnot that would help you.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
So it just depends on the person and their needs.
Right. So you make sure you provide solutions catered to the person preferences and their
Correct.
need. That's really good.
Yeah, looking at the whole person.
Right. Yes. What are some signs that a caregiver is overwhelmed? I know we just mentioned about you
Yeah,
being thoughtful and including the caregiver in the
correct.
training piece. What are some of the signs that you've seen?
I think when you feel like you're putting your needs on the back burner
Hmm.
more than not, you're more than overwhelmed at
Mm,
that point. I see people definitely being not necessarily burnt out, but stressed out because it's a lot to take care of yourself and your loved one 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even if it's just for a few hours at a time. We all carry a lot of roles. We're, like you said, we're spouses, we're children, we're
right.
parents, we're, working our jobs, we're doing so many things
Hmm.
and trying to help somebody else.
Right.
That's a lot to take on.
Right.
And so, are there tools? Are there ways that you can manage better? Yes, but we don't know that. We
Yep.
don't know what we don't know.
Right.
So, it's one of those things. It's always good to reach out to try and find if there's any help. If there's, whether it's, services in the community or solutions within your own space, those are the things you need to know because it can make a huge difference in that caregiver
Very,
journey.
very much so. And offering resources. I think a
Correct.
lot of times, this is just my personal opinion,
Hmm.
the resources that are available that are sort of free, right?
Yes.
They don't get any marketing push.
No, you have to go and find them.
Yeah, you
I'm
have to go.
constantly learning about those all of the
Yes.
time, just
Yep.
going out and
Right.
talking to
Right.
people. You're like, wow, these things exist.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't people know about
They
this?
don't
So
know
you have
about it.
to go out and
Right.
just keep talking to people. The more people you talk to, the more you learn.
Exactly. What's one of you would say one of your go-to like resources just that you advise caregivers to reach out to?
It really depends on the person and what their needs are,
That's
obviously.
mm-hmm.
But Area Agency on Aging is a good one. Over in this community, Meals on Wheels is a really good community
Okay.
agency. There's different ones online.
Mm-hmm.
Findhelp.org is a good one.
Findhelp.org.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can
Yep.
just put in what you're looking for
Mm-hmm.
and they populate a whole bunch of things that
Yes.
are, would pertain to you.
Findhelp.org.
It's a really good service. So
Yes.
there's lots of different resources, but again, you kind of just have to start talking to people and seeing what people know, pick their brains, and you'll
Right.
just keep bumping into one thing after another usually.
Right. And do you have a partnership with the area agency on aging?
I do. I
If you
do.
go,
I am actually one of their trainers for a couple
oh,
of their classes, and then I'm
okay.
also a preferred vendor for
Wow.
occupational
Wow.
therapy. Hmm.
If you just shed light on just the area on aging, like the agency on aging,
Hmm.
just your partnership with them, but also just the resources and if you have any experience to share of how they've
Yeah.
assisted families.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm one of the um, teachers for their
Mhm.
classes. And so they offer a falls prevention, which is
Yes.
called a matter of balance
Hmm.
class. And then they also offer one for caregivers for clients with dementia. So that's the savvy caregiver training. So I
Right.
train for both of those. And I think it's just, again, like we said, the awareness of things that are available. They
Mhm.
don't have a ton of people signing up, but there's a huge need in the community and it's free.
And it's free.
And so, if you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of time for a short period, whether it's 6 weeks or 8 weeks,
Hmm.
I think it's definitely beneficial. And as far as services, they're a resource like Find Help.
Right.
So you can call them. They have the hotline. You don't even have to leave your home. You call them and they will, tell you what services would apply to you based on whether it's finances or services needed. And so sometimes it's just referring to
Right.
other resources. It may not be within the agency, but just knowing that
Hmm.
somebody is able to kind of help guide you a little bit more, it's worth people reaching out and
Very
touching
much.
base. Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so. I learned about was it 211?
That's a good one too.
I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
There's a lot of
Right.
resources
You
we
just
just
get
don't even realize.
I don't even realize. You just
Yeah.
give a call and they provide resources based on just where you live that's
Hmm.
local to you.
Yeah.
Right. So those are all resources that we're advocating for caregivers and the aging community to actually utilize. Please do so. You can look them
Yeah.
up on Google. Anytime that you're laying in bed while you're typically on Twitter or TikTok or Facebook or whatever, utilize some time, do something productive, look up those resources, right? It can help
Yeah.
you can help out a family member, a loved one, by just providing that insight. So I challenge you to do that. 10 minutes on something that's productive.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I want to go back though to how we met and
Okay.
why you gave me an opportunity,
Of
to join the
course.
show. Once again, open arms.
Yeah.
You didn't hesitate. So I just
Never.
want to know why on camera too.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, we actually met on LinkedIn, which
Yes.
is pretty cool.
Hmm.
Just go.
LinkedIn, I tell people all the time, I meet a lot of professionals in healthcare. They don't have a LinkedIn page. I don't know
Yeah.
why. Get on LinkedIn. It's a professional platform. It actually was my social media for many years. I didn't even have Facebook, or my brothers and sisters used to say, man, you lame. You lame. I didn't have Facebook. I didn't have Instagram, anything, but I had
Yeah.
LinkedIn because
Yeah.
I was about business.
Okay.
But now, I'm expanding, of course, with the
Yeah.
brand and just the organization. So you can't have a business without social media. But LinkedIn is a wonderful tool. But
It is a
continue.
good
Sorry, I
tool.
just
Yeah,
cut you
no,
off.
no worries. I mean, like I said, that's how we met.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just getting that opportunity to see that we worked in the same field.
Right.
And again, like I said, is the more you get out and talk, the more you learn about other things that are in the community, how we can help each other serve the people.
Right.
And so it's that, servant heart, I believe you have as well,
Yes,
that
you do.
led us to say, how can we help each other and really, just kind of talk and learn to spread the information about our services.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for giving me the chance.
Absolutely. It's
and
my
you didn't
pleasure.
hesitate with getting a date down. You actually more, responsive as far as back and forth than I was. So
no,
I apologize. I'm learning. So, but I appreciate that. And
it's my pleasure.
It's good to see someone like yourself that are doing something so impactful, because I've seen, as a former skilled nursing administrator operating in that role, how a patient will go into the hospital due to a fall, right, and end up in a skilled nursing facility, whether it's for just short-term rehab or due to a long-term, sort of issue because of a fall.
Yeah.
And their families are in a position where they don't know what resources they have, right? They don't know what things that they could have done to even prevent the fall, for one. But two is like, what resource do we have to reach out to assist us with mom transitioning back home?
Yes.
Right. Some facilities, like, if you don't offer, or if a family don't ask, hey, can we have a therapist go out to do a home assessment? Because some skilled nursing, my facilities, my therapy team, they would go into the home and do a home inspection.
That's awesome.
But if a lot of times the families don't know to ask that, you don't get that service.
Correct.
So I just think that it's wonderful what you do.
It's that awareness component that's
Yes.
huge. People don't know what they don't know. You get put in a situation, all of a sudden you get a call, mom's in the hospital, dad's in the hospital. What do? You go through this quick, stay in a sense, because they're only able to treat you for so long.
Right.
You need to go somewhere after that. If they were functioning on their own at home before that, where do they go now? They still need help. So there's so many questions, so many things they need to be thinking about, and they don't know who to turn to. They're given some resources, but there's still so many more, because there's that continuum of care beyond just that transition home. How do they stay functional past that in their own space? And when it's too questionable, then they do look at facilities, because they can provide the services that they can't have at home necessarily without funding or whatnot. So.
Yep, you're 100% correct. So these questions, the next set of questions I'm going to ask you is, I titled it Laugh and Learn.
Okay.
Right. So it's going to be a weird type of question, but but I want that response.
All right.
All right. So first, the question I have for you during this segment is, if you could invent one gadget for home safety, what would it be, or what would it look like? What would it assist with? Just your innovation type of.
I thought about what would be a good invention, and they already have something similar. People wear this little waist belt thing, and if they fall, it pops out. No, but I wanted to make it like a bubble for the whole person. So if they're falling, it'll protect them from breaking anything.
Right. So you talking about the little band where it pops out like airbags,
like the hip protectors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because hips and heads are the top two injuries for fall.
So if it could be like a bubble around the person, so this way they wouldn't hurt themselves.
Wow.
That's what I'd like to see.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
I don't think anybody would want to wear a bubble, but
no. I don't know if they would have to do like another band, like wear another band, like up top,
pops up,
and it pops up like that. Yeah,
I know, crazy, right?
Yeah. So, what's the one of the funniest misunderstandings you've encountered in explaining in-home outpatient therapy?
I think because it's a mouthful, people don't even know what it means. So I don't know if it's funny. I think it's just really more an explanation of where it fits and why it's necessary than anything else. Because OT, occupational therapy, is just usually misunderstood. People aren't looking for jobs in their older age.
Oh yeah, you got a point.
They don't want occupational therapy.
Teach me how to find a job.
Exactly. Exactly.
What's one of the weirdest items you've seen used for like either physical therapy in the home or occupational therapy?
People have used multiple different things. Necessity is the mother of invention. And so I actually learned from a client, they had a walker behind their toilet. And I was like, why would you put that over by the toilet? What's going on there? And I realized they used it to help themselves push up from the toilet. Kind of like a toilet safety frame. And so, I mean, it was the free version of putting what they had into use.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually really helpful.
Okay. And if you can, if you had to explain occupational therapy to a child as a cartoon, how would you explain that?
That is a tough one.
Yes, it's tough.
Yes, I would say a good cartoon would probably be Dora the Explorer.
Dora the Explorer. Why?
Yeah,
Why you
you
chose that one?
remember during Dora, so they would pull out backpack. When they
Yes,
get stuck,
backpack.
exactly. They'd call in
Mm-hmm.
backpack would come out, and several different choices would populate, right? Different
Uh-huh.
tools. And I think OT tends to provide a lot of tools.
Yes.
And so we're that backpack with little solutions.
I like that.
So that's how I think it would be one way to explain it.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So for the audience, you indicate that you one of the service and solutions you provide is dementia care.
Correct.
If you can sort of just review the services for that.
For dementia care, I actually am a skills care provider. So it's a specific evidence based program that works with the caregivers for clients with dementia. And we pretty much work through their readiness, trying to figure out what their problems are, what are some solutions, how are they implementing that, and kind of working through so that they feel more empowered in order to, continue to work with their loved one and make sure that they're able to problem solve as problems keep arising, unfortunately.
All right. So if your home safety consultation, so if you can go through that process, if you're doing a home safety sort of consultation for a family member.
Yeah. Okay. So normally I would learn a little bit about what are their issues as far as their health concerns beforehand. And then when I go meet them at the home, we kind of just do a walk around in the space. And I like to have people show me how to do things because sometimes how we think we do things versus how we actually move in our space can be completely different. Like, do you push yourself to get up? Do you grab onto something? How do you move in your space? Those are the things that I'm really looking at and analyzing in order to make sure that we can find the right fit for you. And placement of things really matters in how we move.
Now, do you sort of curate or make your solutions to match? Like, if you have a patient that may be having a cognitive decline still in the home, how would you sort of make sure your services fit a patient of such?
That's something that I definitely look at when I do the home safety assessments, making sure that we're fitting the person, not just for now, right? But thinking about in the future, even if it's not just cognitive, there's a lot of progressive healthcare, health issues, like Parkinson's or other diseases that continue to unfortunately change the abilities of the person over time. So we want to make sure that we're not just putting something that fits for right now, but we want to think about how are they going to look in another year from now, another 5 years from now, and what are we putting in their space so that they're able to function for the entire duration as much as possible on their own.
Right. So if someone out in the audience, if they had a concern, as you just sort of indicated, what would you advise them to do? Like, as far as reaching you, how would they do so? And what would be your steps to sort of assisting them?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm always available for questions. So I think the easiest way is just to reach out by phone or go on my website, functionalityforlife.com, and make sure that you can contact me. I will call you back. We can go over some what are your questions and how can I help you best? And sometimes it may just be helping them, refer them to different services. If I'm not the right fit, I want to make sure that they have whatever they need.
So if let's say a caregiver gave you a call, like you say, "Hey, my name is Susan. I saw you on Let's Get Comfy podcast because I watch every episode, and I want to just see if you could just come and help my dad. He's just having multiple falls at home. And if you could just come, I just want your help."
Absolutely.
How would you go about assisting a person like that?
Well, first and foremost, if they're having medical issues, insurance may cover it. So I want to check to see if they have what insurance they have, if it would be possible to, get that covered, contact the doctor, figure out what is actually going on medically, what are all the conditions. And then from there, talk to the family and say, what are your biggest concerns? And then go and do the home assessment.
Home assessment will be okay.
Yeah.
And so far as your services, can be covered.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a Medicare provider.
All right.
And so if there is a medical necessity for therapy, it definitely would still be covered.
Right.
Mhm.
That's really good.
Yeah,
That's really good
absolutely.
options covered under Medicare.
Yes.
And what's some unexpected, I guess, things that you encounter or a family can encounter that they don't even consider, right, when they're looking at home assessments, or some things that you point out that they miss that's
Yeah.
right there in front of them.
I think honestly, a lot of the time it's the obvious.
Uh,
How we're moving in our space, we do things out of routine, out of
mhm,
habits. It's just whatever's comfortable for us.
right.
But there may be an easier way to do something, and it's a subtle change.
Right.
So, like I said, I really kind of, occupational therapists are expert at task analysis.
Task
And
analysis.
so we go through and kind of have you function. Just, I'll ask somebody from the time that you wake up to the time that you go to bed, tell me a little bit about your day. And let's move around your house as if you were just getting ready in the morning,
Hmm.
getting yourself ready for a meal, doing those types of things. And so it might be placement of something in your space, making sure that you're not having to reach for something way up high or way down low that you might fall and lose your balance doing that. It could be, just making something a little bit easier, having sensor lights instead of having to walk over to the
Right.
switch and find it in the dark.
Hmm.
You might the light may just come on. So it's just little things that you can do in your space and how you move, making sure that you're doing things safely. So again, we just do things out of the way that we do things. We don't
Right.
think about it.
Hmm.
But sometimes when our health is an issue, if there's an easier solution, I mean, just simply moving to the edge of the chair to help yourself stand up
Stand up.
can make a heavy burden a light burden.
Right. Yep.
And so, as a caregiver or as a client, there's little solutions that are out there.
Hmm.
And so, why not ask somebody who does that every day?
I actually learned that process too, about like the way you sit in the
Yeah,
chair. My mom had knee surgery, so
absolutely.
just foot placement,
Placement.
all of those
Yeah,
things like that
absolutely.
impacts the way you just stand up.
Correct.
Right. So from a preventative perspective,
Yes.
if you could just give a message to sort of individuals that are middle age, right, that
Hmm.
may have parents that are aging,
Hmm.
and just for them to sort of say, "Hey, mom, dad, I watched this show, or I saw Miss Trevino, and you know what? I think, have you guys ever heard of thought about doing a home assessment?"
Hmm.
Like, just speak to that audience there, just to say,
Yeah.
"Hey, let's be, proactive
Hmm.
instead of something happening and then we doing it." So,
Yeah. I think the easiest thing to do is to be proactive because a lot of the time when we're reactive, it's major changes.
right,
Not only are you having to deal with your health change, you're trying to mentally, grasp what's going on in life and
hmm,
how everything has changed. Whereas if you're proactive, you're trying to just make things easier for yourself.
yes,
The costs are usually much less if you're ahead of the game because you can do it slowly as opposed to major changes in your own space. You
right,
don't
yep,
have to do an entire bathroom renovation necessarily, but maybe you're starting to put items in place like the grab bar that's a towel bar already so that you don't have the fall.
right,
I mean, subtle changes. So anything that you can do, I mean, I do it myself in my own home,
mhm.
especially when I'm thinking as far as recommendations for clients. I know that it's good because I use it in my own space.
There we go.
When I
Yes,
walk into my office, the lights just go on. I already have the sensor lights.
hmm,
So it's little changes that you can do ahead of time that will keep you functioning as optimal as possible for as long as possible.
right, and again, the impact of just having you here on the show.
Hmm.
But the reason why I wanted to place emphasis on a segment like this on the show as well is because falls,
Hmm.
non injury related falls, right,
Hmm.
and injury related falls are
Yeah.
the highest, right, healthcare costs for aging
Yeah,
adults.
for sure.
So as far as insurance billing, Medicare is the highest cost for emergency visits
Yeah.
for insurance providers.
Yeah.
Falls related to falls.
Because they're repeated sometimes.
Yep.
Once you have that first fall, then unfortunately,
Hmm.
other smaller falls tend to occur, or
Right.
there's smaller falls beforehand that they're not reporting.
Nope.
And they don't want people to know they're
Hmm.
concerned that then things will change for them if they tell someone. When in
Exactly.
reality, if they ask for a little bit of help because they know those changes are occurring,
Hmm.
they could prevent the bigger fall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of parents out there, be transparent with your kids.
Yeah.
You're aging. I know you probably don't want to worry them or bother them, but if you're listening, you have your children for a reason, right?
Yeah.
They're concerned about you. So I heard a family member one time, they said, yeah, mom had a fall, but she didn't tell me. She had
Yeah.
it over a year ago.
Yeah.
Her first fall. She
For
didn't say,
sure.
because she didn't think nothing of it. It was
Yeah.
nothing big deal. But now, 9 months later, 10 months later, she's falling. She's had 3 falls in the last 2 months.
Yeah. They
Right.
start accumulating.
It started accumulating.
Because you tend to build up a fear of falling as well. So
Yep.
you may move differently in your space, your confidence changes, and how you move really affects if you're going to fall or not. I mean, falls are preventable, but we, don't think anything of it. We're embarrassed. We don't want to tell our family. We don't want to tell our doctor. What are they going to do? And so we tend to hide those things until it becomes so problematic that you have to go to the hospital.
Right, exactly. And with your piece that you offer is occupational therapy as well and physical therapy. It's one thing I was speaking to my dad about that is I say we tend to spend money on things easily that really don't impact our life and our livelihood more readily, right?
Yeah.
We quickly do that.
Yeah.
If it's something for your boat, you want a fishing pole.
Yeah.
You'd be willing to spend money on those things, right? New
Yeah.
shoes, clothes.
Yeah.
But if you're getting older, right, aging, and you want to get therapy, then that's a cost. I don't want to pay for no therapy. I don't need no therapy. I'm good right now. Right. But that's preventative measures. A lot of people don't think about that. They haven't worked out, right? And really been to a gym and exercise in 20 to 30 years. Long time.
So hard.
So you get at 60 years old, you haven't worked out continuously for 30 years.
The idea is daunting.
Exactly.
Yeah. But at the same token, when your health is, even just having a cold, your health, you realize is priceless.
Yes.
And you'll do anything after the fact when things are compromised versus beforehand.
Yes.
So again, knowing that your health is priceless, where do you prioritize where your money goes? And taking care of yourself. We have a hard time with the whole caregiver bit. We put others before ourselves.
Yes.
But our health is so important to be able to help others, to be there for others. If we're not doing well, our other people aren't doing well.
Right. Yep.
So we want to prioritize and spend a little bit on ourselves.
On ourselves, yes. And that's another piece of you say that like preventative.
Yeah.
Doing it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Even now with my kids, they hate it. I do what I call immune shots.
Okay.
Yeah, they hate those.
No choices.
So
That's
I do
non-negotiable.
I do immune shot like at least once a week. Like so, it's like lemon, apple cider vinegar, cinnamon.
Yeah.
What else I do? Lime in there, and we do the shots, and they hate it, but
build up their you want to build up their house.
Build up, yes, ma'am, for sure. So, so now. I have a segment here. So it's called That's My Answer.
Okay.
Right. So this is going to be a few funny questions. You have 5 seconds to answer it.
Okay.
All right. If you had to watch boxing or MMA, which one would you watch?
Boxing. I don't understand MMA enough.
You don't? Okay.
I know more about boxing.
All right. What's your biggest regret in life? Just one.
Being afraid.
Being afraid.
Yeah, not taking chances on myself, not believing in myself enough.
Sooner?
Yeah, definitely. I should have stepped up sooner.
All right. That's a good one. Let's say, okay, so here's a good one. Would you rather miss a shower for a month?
Ooh.
Right?
It's terrible. Or
miss a shower for a month or not have income for a month?
Oh, goodness. Both of those are really important.
Yeah, that's what bad. Yeah.
I don't know that I can go without a shower for a month.
A whole month.
Pretty gross. That one. Hopefully, I've saved enough so I can live off of my money and not have to give up showering.
Okay. All right. All right. So, what's something that pisses you off? Just because you seem very nice and sweet, but I just want what bores you.
Lying.
Lying.
Yeah.
Really?
Lying 100%. And it's not just necessarily the little lies, but the bigger lies. If we're not truthful, whether it's good or bad, regardless of the outcome, I always tell people I like to have the hard conversations. Right. If you're not honest with yourself or others, it'll show somewhere. So you might as well just be honest up front and let's deal with the issue.
Little lies. Yeah. All right. Favorite song?
Favorite song? That's a good question. I don't really have a favorite song.
Really?
There's a lot of songs that I like. Um, hmm.
Which one do you
I
find
guess
yourself singing?
right now I've been listening a lot to something called Be All Right.
Yeah. You can
Yeah.
sing a little bit for us.
Or, oh, here I prefer Three Little Birds.
Three Little Birds.
Yeah.
I don't know how to go. Can you sing it for me?
Oh, no.
No singing.
I don't sing.
No singing.
Only in the car.
Okay, only in the car. Okay. If you could go on a date with one individual, who would it be?
Ooh,
And they pay for everything.
a good question. Well, I think I would obviously go with God first
God.
to figure out.
Jeez.
Yeah, help me. But people wise, let's see.
Yeah, you got to choose somebody. Whether it's an artist or
I would like to talk to Oprah.
Oprah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, you going on a date for information purposes, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that at all. I wouldn't say that at all. Do you have a favorite rap song?
I do not.
No?
No.
Okay. Do you know Cardi B or Beyonce? Do you know either one of them? Which artist would you choose?
Beyonce.
Beyonce?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. And I'll wrap it up. If you could eat or choose one food or dish that you had to eat every single day, what would it be?
Ooh, goodness, I don't like the same thing over and over and over again.
Just one.
I guess a pasta, because I could do different sauces or things.
Yeah, that's
so there's
smart.
a little bit of variation still.
You make good decisions. I can see that. Yes. And the last one is, if you could snoop through one person's private life, who would that person be and not get caught?
I don't really want to snoop in anybody's life, honestly.
No celebrity, no anyone, nobody.
Not really.
Really?
No.
You're not a nosy person?
I am not.
You mind your own business?
I do, because that's one thing I've learned. Regardless of who you are or what you've done or where you've been in life, life tends to be full circle. And we all kind of wind up in the same boat as we age. We're very similar in so many different ways. So all those little things that shape us into being who we are, we still kind of come back to similar occupations, similar, just different things going on in life. We're all going through problems. We're all going through issues. What we show people, may not be the reality a lot of the time. So snooping around and trying to figure all that stuff out, honestly, keep the drama to the curb. I don't like that.
Well,
yeah, I'd rather just
I can think of a lot of
reality more than anything else.
That's really good. That's a good point of view. You make me feel so bad. I have like a list of people that
Who would you snoop on?
Probably Chris Brown.
Okay.
Let's see. Cardi B. I want to snoop through her life.
Okay.
Let's see. DeSantis, Governor DeSantis. I want to snoop through his life. Donald Trump.
Okay.
Let's see. Barack Obama. Let's see. See, that's like 5. I just named a lot of people. Jamie Foxx.
Why do you want to snoop? That's my question to you.
Why?
Yeah. What would you learn?
Just to see what they do every day. That's all.
I think everybody's real people at the end of the day.
I know.
You know what I mean? And I think you're going to see them doing a lot of the same things you and I do.
Probably
and
so,
it's not as exciting as you think.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think money can make a little bit more excitement.
A little bit more. I have family that has been in different positions of influence, and I think in reality, everybody just wants to be regular.
Want to be regular.
You don't want the security or the publicity or all that other stuff around you all the time. You just want to be yourself.
So I need to get out of my immature ways. That's just immature.
It's not immature. It's just curiosity.
It's curiosity, right? Okay. But I think I ended there. Oh no, I have to ask you this one.
Okay.
I have to, because it's Sunday, so I have to ask you.
Of course.
So if on Sunday, if you had to take 5 shots,
okay,
or would you do 3 Long Islands? On a Sunday too.
On a Sunday,
yep.
I probably do 5 shots.
5
Get
shots.
It done.
Get it done.
I'm not a big drinker. Let's just be done with it.
I know. Well, this final note for the audience. Just tell them about what they're gonna get when they give a call to you.
I think when you call me, you get me. I'm very honest and transparent about whatever it is. I'm really here to serve and be available in whatever way possible as far as the health aspect. So people have called me for many different things, and I always just try to be a resource. If it's not something that I can help you with, I definitely want to try and help you in whatever way to guide you in the direction that you may need.
Yes.
So I think that's what you get. And as far as whether it's services I can help with, absolutely, I'm available for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, Comfy listeners, we had a great episode with Ms. Trevino here. I thank her for her expertise and the knowledge that she shared. A little bit even on the personal side as well. So glad to have her on the show. Thank you, and tune in to our next episode. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Yes. We'll get a couple